Hey everybody, thanks for dropping in. My name's Dylan, and today we're going to talk about the truth about college. Okay, so you've probably seen the whole college scandal thing going on with celebrities paying for their children to go to schools that they probably shouldn't have gotten into. Well, I'm not going to talk a ton about that, but it certainly brought up some questions of morality, some questions of, finance of affording college, and certainly some questions of, the credibility of some of the students there. I mean, we didn't expect this to already be happening. Like, it took us, 7 or 8 years to figure this out? Obviously, it had been going on. I mean, this type of thing happens all the time. It's just a matter of, whether people want to look into it or just sweep it under the rug, I think. And, someone finally, sniffed around a little bit and figured out what exactly was going on. So I'm going to talk about college, and this isn't going to be like one of my other videos where I'm like, 5 tips to, figure out how to get that A. It's nothing like that. Not that my other videos are like that either, but it's not like a 5-tip video. It's going to be more of just a conversation that I want to have about college and about some stigma around it and about the system that we have, which is failing miserably. And it's only going to continue to fail until we reach a tipping point. But anyway, college isn't for everyone, and we need to figure that out more and accept that, not everybody should go to college. We feel pressured to get those degrees because jobs look for those degrees, and then you get hired at a job and you're not even using the degree half the time, probably more than half the time. I was watching some videos. Roberto Blake has a great one out there where he talks about, college and the scandal and the scam and if it's really, a scam or not, basically. And there's definitely a lot of negatives about it, and a big one is the cost. We can't, students today can't really afford college as well as they used to be able to. Our parents' generation for sure was able to afford it a lot easier. I mean, a lot of our parents, bought houses and really made big life advancements in their late 20s, and subsequent generations are paying off loans well into their 30s, and it just continues to get worse. So there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, debt is something that we have to take on at various parts of our lives, whether it's a mortgage on a house or student loan debt. As far as college goes, though, I definitely think it's worth it personally for me. My career goals required me to get a degree in something very specific, and so I needed to go to school for that. But had I went to a trade school, obviously I wouldn't have gone to college, but that's a decision that we have to make so early on in our lives. Who knows if they want to be a plumber or an electrician or, mechanic, something like that, when they're 17. Not even 17, because most of the time you're deciding whether or not you want to go to a vocational high school. So you're 14. How are you supposed to make that decision? You just think, oh, I'll play it safe. I'll, go to a regular, 4-year high school that's not vocational and, try to get into a college, whether it's a state school, whether it's a private school, just play it safe and take that path. And that's not always the best path to take. But it's so hard, to ask people in general at the age of 14, do you want to, do you want to be an electrician, or do you want to, get your physics degree? Tough thinking. I just like to play video games and occasionally smoke weed, so I'm gonna just, coast and think about it a little more. And even if you're being critical and you're one of those A-type super achievers when you're 13, 14, you're still thinking, do I want to be a plumber, or do I want to be what's the money gonna look like? What's my quality of life gonna look like? What are my years of schooling? All that stuff. I went into college as a pre-med student. I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I love talking to people, and I'm fascinated by mental illness, and even though that's not the path I chose, still very passionate about advocating for mental health. But that was a path that required a lot of schooling, a lot of money, very rigorous, and some of those decisions that you make, you're not going to be able to make until you're well into a couple classes and really thinking more critically about the program when you're actually involved with it academically. And so a lot of times what happens is people just don't figure out what they want to do. And it's tough, it really is. But you know, if you can just narrow it down to like 3 things, it helps a ton. But you know, people think they're gonna get their dream job right out of college sometimes, and other times, you know, you're just happy to get a job that pays that. There's like a big spectrum of, you know, I just really want a job, and wow, I got a job, but it's not what I want. Well, no kidding, it's not what you want. You're 23. You're not gonna get a huge raise, big position right out of school. Even today, you're gonna have to work at things unless you take the risk of starting something yourself. So it's not fair to ask us, you know, to pay all this back, all this debt back so soon. Meanwhile, getting killed by interest rates doing it. No wonder why people don't finish paying it off till they're 40, because by the time they're 40, they're paying an extra $20,000 more than they originally took out just because of interest. So it's just not a great system. So it's no wonder some people aren't able to pay back their debt until they're 40. And by the time they do, the interest has accrued so much that you're paying back $20,000 or sometimes even more extra than what you originally took out when you started college. So it's not a great system. And to be completely honest, there are things we could be doing to fix it. I mean, we're just not doing anything really right now. But it gets tricky regulating different types of schools too, between state, private, and you know, these endowments and the budgets that the schools have, and trying to get in and completely rework that system. That's really tough. Don't get me wrong, but there's stuff that we can do outside of that that could really make a big impact for the students who have graduated with all this debt, or for students who had to leave early because they can't afford it and still have to repay debt. You know, I think that if you are a graduate of a college and you have debt, whether it's, you know, a certain percentage of the total amount college cost or some way to factor in, you know, amount of debt you have, for the first, you know, 1, 2, 3 years out of college, any taxes that you have on income that you're making at your job, you should get to put directly to your loans. You know, you're not spending it on, you know, frivolous things, you know, you're not doing like stupid shit with your money. You're using it to pay back that debt. And you know, that's putting tax money to good use right there. You know, you're helping with the debt problem. And if that's, you know, that's like a few $1,000s for some people. And on top of that, they're already paying their loans probably with what they can, you know, aside from rent and other bills. I mean, you're already paying off your student loans. Just take the tax money that you would have to pay for a couple years and put it to loans. And then, you know, after like 2 or 3 years, you know, you just keep getting taxed like regular. Just like have a special bracket for taxes for college grads that have X amount of debt. I mean, a lot of the debt's federal, so you can prove it. It's just an idea I had, you know. I'm not a very super politically involved person, but I think that that's just would help a lot. I mean, it might interfere with some plans for tax dollars, but because we do make up a good chunk of population. But just a thought. So yeah, there's just a few quick thoughts here. I don't want to ramble on too much and make a super long video, but you know, it's ridiculous that we still pressure students in high school and, you know, middle school to pursue college. You know, it's not for everybody. And I got a lot out of it. You know, it's not just a piece of paper, it's what you make of it. At the end of the day, you do just have a piece of paper, but, you know, how did you get to that piece of paper? How'd you get your diploma? Did you, you know, really work hard? You know, even GPA, I don't care if you have a 3.99. Can you, like, help me with this practical, real-world problem? If that answer is a no, no one gives a crap. Like, I don't care what your GPA is. I don't care what courses you took. Can you use what you learned in school in the real world and be successful? And for some people, that's a big no. They think just going through the motions is gonna get it for them in life. But it's a lot more involved than that. If it were that simple, everybody would be successful who went to college. So that's not the case at all. So it's a tough decision to make. It's a really weird process, and it's so tough for so many people. But again, I don't want to ramble anymore in this video. I just wanted to make it more of like a conversation, and I really appreciate you for watching this long through. Make sure to subscribe. Comment down below if you are in a tough situation with college, whether it's, you know, picking which one to go to, whether or not you were even going, and, you know, just maybe figuring out a job after college. I hope the video I posted last week was helpful for you if that's the case. But just let me know your situation, and I'm happy to help, comment, whatever it takes to help you out a little bit with it, because I just went through the whole process myself. So thank you for watching. For all of you grinding 9-to-5 jobs to pay off your loans, keep up the hard work. And for all of you still looking for a job, you know, there is one out there. You will find it. Just keep working, keep getting those interviews, keep looking for those opportunities. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and got some exciting new stuff coming up for you, as I've been saying, but it's a lot to work on, that, the full-time job and these videos too. But I do really want to get that out for you, so stay tuned. Appreciate the support. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.